as you said, I don't need to hide anymore to express or explain. Aryan, I would come to you. You conquered the world on the football field. 2 times world champion, 4 times European champion. You knew, you came to football, you knew that it's not where fairness exists, parity exists, and you yet plunged into it. Something wrong with this mic, and you yet plunged into it. And you decided to play against the broken system of pay disparity. What motivated you to come to football?
First of all, come on, I'm 2 times world champion. I know you love cricket, but that's not true. Thank you. Okay. I just wanted to celebrate myself and German football. The pure joy we heard about life, and my pure joy has always been football. I know in India you love cricket, but I tell you football is an amazing sport as well to play. And from a very young age, I just love to play. If you ask my mom, like, when did Ariana start playing? Ever since she could walk, she would have the football next to her. And so growing up as a kid, you know, you have endless dream. I didn't even know there is a difference between boys or girls playing football. All I knew was I loved the sport, so I did it. And then getting older, I realized there might be a problem because women's football is not as big. It's growing now, thankfully, it's getting better. I wanted to be in the national team. I wanted to play for my country, and I knew I could, but I could never do it on the biggest stage because I was in the wrong body, I wasn't the man. And to still get out there and say, I can do whatever man can do, even if I'm a woman, I can be successful, I can do the sport I love. This was so powerful for me. There are so many great women out there, even before me, who set the stage, and I did the same. And now we're finally growing into a generation where it is totally normal for women to play football. In Germany, at least, there are still some countries where it's not the case, but we're building on it. And every woman should do everything she wants. If it's football, go out and play football and be paid for what you're good at. And that's not only football, it's all around, all businesses that are out there. Just because you're female, you're not limited. So go out there, enjoy what you do it good, and be paid as you deserve.
Right. Ali, you've made it very clear to the world and to us that you are possibly as much of an Indian as much as I am. Your love for India is congratulations on your pregnancy. Possibly one of the best times that you're living. I want to ask you that you were almost on the springboard of your life. You've done well, you are thinking or you're planning to take the next big leap, and then you decided pregnancy. So do you think there was a choice that you have made, or as far as career is concerned, or you were happy to make that choice?
It's funny, we were just talking about it earlier this morning, about a woman's decision to become a mother and the toll that it might or might not put on her career. And I feel like I was very ready for that stage in my life. I feel like I've been very good at following my dreams and following my own drum and the pace of my life and the things that I've wanted to achieve. And it was time to do this, and I gracefully just immersed myself into wanting to do this. And like anything else in my life that I wanted to do and I did it, I wanted to and I did it.
Right. Before I move on to another speaker, I would like to tell you that you have combined performance principle and politics in a very unique way. That comes naturally to you, so when you're mixing politics or advocacy with your performance or with your career, is there a positive rub-off that you get, or the rub-off is not quite positive always?
Positive in what way?
Positive is, does it help in your career to get the next role, to make far more greater impact on your audience?
It's a very deep question because I feel like the situation in my country is very delicate and unique. And for me, speaking out for my country wasn't, I knew that it might cost me my career, speaking out, but it was never something that I was willing not to do because I might pay the price. It was more important for me to advocate for my people and my country and for the right thing and for the truth, because I think very quickly what happened after October 7th was, you know, talking about narrative, the narrative changed. And I felt a citizen obligation, a deep commitment to my country to at least say the truth. And I have to say I was very proud and honored to know that India was one of the first countries that reached out to me and gave me the platform to speak. And it wasn't long before I felt like the urge to speak my truth was bigger than my fear of losing anything that had to do with my work. And I felt like I've felt all my life that my bravery in choosing to do the right thing was always going to be commanded by the universe, and that I was going to be guided in the right way. And so that's what I believed, and that's what I did.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Outstanding. Bianca, correct me if I'm wrong, I think modeling is one of the rarest careers where women get paid more than the men.
Yes. Yes.
So I want to ask you, was
Yes.
that you took to modeling?
No, I mean, of course I started so young. I'm just lucky like that, you see. And not only that, you know, modeling is one of the few world where women get less harassed than men.
Really?
Yes. Male models, they're more like...
They're more vulnerable?
Yeah, vulnerable.
Serves them right.
Yes. That's why you did a model, right, Barun? And you
Oh, yeah, I
chose
know.
it. Yeah.
No, so, but why is it so? Ladies, would you be able to tell me that what is it that in modeling, the pay disparity is on the other side, which is not in case of your career, maybe acting, on screen, and of course not for you, footballer.
I mean, I don't know for sure. My instinct tells me that probably because women, you know, are a bigger share of the buying force in fashion. I would think so.
So it's consumer, you are saying. Any take on this, Aryan or Ronali?
Of course, I totally get when we're talking economics that it all comes down to consuming. But the thing is, before you can consume and before you had an outcome, you must invest. And this is the problem. If you don't invest in the beginning, you'll never have a really good outcome. So very often I hear them saying, when we talk about women football now, yeah, but you can't earn the same because you don't make the same revenue and so on. But even the men football has never been the biggest. It's been growing over years and centuries and so on. So if you invest in the beginning, I guess you have the better outcome later. And women football, I tell you, this is something you should invest, because women's sport in general, wherever we look in the world, and even in India, I just got told, cricket is a professional sports now. We have women who are doing TV shows of men's sports as women, so it's growing. There is potential, and I think if you don't invest right now, you're going to be lost in a couple of years, because the train has already gone and it's outside the station and you won't catch it anymore.
So you're saying that it's a function of when we took off, when we started, right? It takes a little bit of time. But if I take Ronali's career or profession, acting started almost same time for men and for women. Even there, the pay parity doesn't exist. So what could be the reason that where in modeling, it's the other way around, and in other spheres, other professions, it's not as much? Any take on that, Ronali?
I can only have a guess. I think one of the reasons is women are more shy, and women are not really out there saying, here I am good, and I'm demanding. Women would more be like sitting back. Whereas, I know I'm generalizing, I'm putting the extremes out there, but men are more like, here I am, I can do it, I'm good at it, even though very often realize they're not good at it. Whereas women, they would only do it if they're 100% sure they're good at it.
So men in this room, including me, I think we try to take more share of the pie than we deserve.
Yeah.
I quite don't disagree with you, but do you think it has got anything to do with the fact that it's the consumers who decide, right? I have often seen people talking about that why the pay is less for women cricketer or for women footballer. If I'm right, I think I was talking to some of my friends, and in Germany, even now, while 2007 onwards, your football has grown exponentially. But even now, possibly a leading professional footballer, woman footballer would get about 1/100th of the pay. And if you take the second and third divisions, every woman footballer is actually, you yourself, you're such a legend, you had to juggle with 2 jobs. But that's way back. But even today that exists. So I often wonder, why is it so? But according to me, it's the consumers who decide.
Yeah.
But then I ask, why do consumers want to watch male in sporting arena and women on fashion ram?
Yeah. To be precise, right? I'm exaggerating in a couple of times, right? It's not always black and white. There are a lot of gray shades. The thing is, how do you know you love something? You only know if you can see it, if it's exposed. Women football, in my example, it's never been on TV, it's never been on newspapers. So people didn't know it exists. And it's in so many other cases. If you can't be it if you don't see it. If I don't see it every day, how do I want to be this? How do I want to consume, right? You have to give it out there, and you need the platform. And this is something that people now are realizing, especially the younger generation. They are way less gender-based. They don't really care that much anymore. They're just interested in general. So we need the platform that is equally, and if you put it out there, then the consumers, I bet you, they will watch it. When it comes to women football, there are more and more people approaching me now, telling me, oh, I prefer watching you, because it's less vulgar, it's not as much fighting, it's more genteel, whatever you want to call it. So you need to see it to actually know what you want to have. And in that case, football, and I think there's so many more other examples there. If you're not seen, how can anybody consume?
Right. Ronali, you broke the gender bias in acting. You take up those action roles in acting. You wanted to join IDF in your childhood, and there was an incident from where the path changed, and you moved more into your dancing career in those days, and then into acting. So what happened? What was that incident? I want you to share with the audience that made you make that shift.
Well, I started just like Ariana in a very small age. When I was 3.5, I started dancing. And it was a big part of my life. It was the corner in my life where I found who I was, and I found a safe place to express myself and to tell a story. I'm a very shy person in real life, and I feel like when I'm on stage, I'm allowing myself to be a voice of my inner thoughts and my inner lessons, and for the human emotion in many ways. And I grew up dancing, and in my country it's mandatory to go to the army, but then at the same time I got a scholarship to go dance at the Royal Ballet Academy in Amsterdam, and I took that chance and I followed my dream. And it wasn't something that people used to do back in the day, and it was a very brave and kind of weird thing to do. And I left home when I was 17 and a half to go to follow my dream. And in a way it's funny, because when I started acting, because I'm a dancer and because I have a deep understanding of the body and the way to move it, I feel like action I'm very attuned to it because it's all about choreography and expressing a fast-paced story, an action story with your body, and that's why I love it so much. And it's funny, ever since I'm an actor, I play soldiers a lot, and so it's kind of like, I didn't do it in real life, but I did it in my biggest role in Fauda, and I keep doing it in series around the world, and it's an incredible journey, but it kind of, that's why it shifted. I remember going to, when I was 16, I went to see, we were hosting, the dance department went to Germany and Holland just to see ballet. And I remember sitting and watching the head national ballet, and I saw so many women from all around the world, just dancers from all around the world. And I didn't know, I think it was the second time I went abroad from Israel, and I finally felt like there was a place for me in the world. Like it felt so inclusive. I could see myself, as you said before, you only have to see you being represented out there. It's like a frame of something that is now possible for you, and I followed, and that's what made me want to do it, and that's what made me feel like I can do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Bianca, you also host a show. You also host a show, YouTube show, Lotocon on Bianca.
In bed with Bianca?
Yeah, so that's a very interesting name. How did you come across with that name? And why did you have the chats on bed?
It's just, because in bed with Bianca sounds very provocative, like almost sexual, and it's not. I like that, It was just like, how do you call it? Like the thing, to attract the people, the audience. But no, it's only with female guests.
You only call female guests?
Yes. Actually, I am very much about that, the more I grow up, the more I'm about sisterhood and just creating spaces for women. Just because, not because I don't want to be inclusive, but just because I think there is already a lot of space for men. And so, whenever I'm creative and I imagine this format of mine, that I imagined, for me it was imperative that it was only with girls, because, I don't know, it just, there is a lot of space already in media for men. And so I just think we need to create the space for ourselves, This is the thing also, I think when you're talking about disparities between the models and, a soccer player, I think it's also because that's what men want. Men want, men like, like the beautiful model, and so here we are making more money than the male models, So I feel like, the disparity doesn't come necessarily only from the audience, What the audience wants is the boss, so that regulates. And, so we need to put women to the head, of things so that things can really change. I think that's, it's a whole scheme that we have to take down, basically. But don't worry, we're going to keep you.
Come again?
Yes, we're going to...
But you just said that, maybe I heard it right or wrong, that it is the beauty in a woman that the audience would like to watch. You also have said, post this diagnosis and all, you realized and you expressed that beauty is no more skin deep. It's not skin deep. It's more than that. It's authenticity, which is beauty.
Yes.
But would this world wake up to that sense of beauty ever? I'm saying that would the world wake up to that sense of beauty that it's not beauty that you see.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is that.
And that, I think, is the true power of media. We were talking about it today, actually. That media, especially social media, for me specifically, gives us the power to create the narrative. So it gives the power to women like us to create our own narrative and the way we present ourselves to the world. And because I've been modeling for 21 years, I used these medias only to, to present my image and promote my image and my work, right? And then one day I'm like, oh wow, I can actually use this thing also to promote my voice and what I think and what other women need. You know, so that give me personally the opportunity to show my other beauty, which is not only, you know, my face, but, you know, my voice inside, that we all have, by the way, you know.
So, Ronali, what's the narrative? What one will have to do, or as a society collectively, that the narrative changes, that women get the equal opportunity in every sphere, and what is it that needs to be done?
I feel like it starts with us a lot. Like Bianca said, I think coming together and unify as women and understanding what is important to us and what we need to see out there in the world, and starting to make the steps in order to get there, in order to do it ourselves and to create the spaces for us, whether it's the jobs that we want or the roles that we want in cinema, and not be afraid and be, first of all, each other's backs. And I also think it has to work together. It has to work with men as well. We cannot do it alone. We can't. We have to have given a space and taking that space and be brave enough. And I think it's the way that we grew up, like conditioned to, like you said earlier, to maybe be shy. And there are so many studies that show that women are not gonna take the opportunity unless they are 100% invested and they've learned, and it's so different for men. And I feel like the braver that we get, the more we stand behind each other and support each other through failure. And it's going to take time, because I think we're stepping out of very strong male patriarchy all around the world. And it's a deep movement that needs to come from within. I think social media helps. I mean, it has its downside, right? I think supporting young girls through their journeys with social media is something that we need to look after. But it also gives us a stage as women to express ourselves, to be authentic, to be driven, to not be scared to say what we want, to say how we feel, and to support each other while doing that.
If I might just please add, you mentioned it, be allies. It's not about us women trying to take anything away from men. It's more, we're living in a planet and a world that is so diverse. It has so many different shapes and colors. So it's more getting the platform that women deserve to be more on an equal page. And this is why the summit here, for example, is really important. And you also mentioned it, the storytelling. There are so many great stories of women to be told.
Exactly.
We just need someone to present them, give us the platform, and then people will listen.
Right.
I feel like that, like the role that I played in Fauda was very much so supported that narrative of women can be very valuable in a male society. And it was very important for me as the actor that got this role to build that dream from below, from not feeling adequate to fighting for being valued in that surroundings.
Basically, what I hear, if I paraphrase it correctly, that it's a kind of conditioning and a narrative which has been going on in the society. So we tend to fall prey to that, and we try to follow the way it has been followed over the years. And I keep saying, and one of the narratives, that's why I was asking you, which I say that I feel that first of all, every woman needs to believe for herself and communicate to the men around them that I am, therefore you are. So but I think the women need to feel it first, that it is they who came first, and then the society should get formed around you. Now coming to Ari, when you built FC Victoria Berlin, did you want to break the system, or that was a quest to create something and recreate future?
It was just a total new way to make things different. Football in Germany has a really long tradition. Obviously, it was always run by men. And so 6 women with me in total we got out there and said we want to change something. We want to be the first club in Germany and maybe even worldwide to have a full women's team just run by women, and to go out there and have a different approach, how we get money in, how we have storytellings and create something new, which I think is working really well, because is it the men's world and the men's football is already really struck with the structures. They're really manifested, and it's hard to have any changes. But I think women's football has the potential for changes, for doing things different. I think it's totally wrong, the wages that we have, talking about millions of dollars.
1:100, I was told, maybe more.
It's way too much, like lower the prices, and of course, women football players should earn more, but also the men should earn less. But this is something we need to change, and I think there's a big potential there is. So with Victoria Berlin, we're trying to have a different approach, to attract a different audience, to have different storytelling, to build up a whole brand. And it's not just about football, it's so much more. It's being a game changer, being out there, supporting women, but also supporting men, like having a bigger community and not being so exclusive. And this is something that I think is really good, because one thing I love about football so much, it's a worldwide game. I know cricket is more popular in India, but even football is growing. You just have arguments, you have fights, Israelis, whatever, Germans. You just give them a football, they don't care about any problems in the world. They just play the game. They need 2 goals, they don't need to speak the language, they don't have to understand each other. I don't have to agree with you. I don't have to believe in your religion. All I want to do is have fun playing the sports. And this is the great power that we have with football. I think with football we can change things, and we can put people together to talk about. Because first you just talk about this match, and maybe then later we can have a conversation which most likely we would have not have, because there's so many differences in between us.
Right. Thank you. Eddie, you came to India for the first time, right? This is your first trip to India?
Yeah, I love it, by the way. Thank you for having me. What a wonderful country.
Thank you very much. I would like to tell you that we would try and make it happen that you keep coming back. I mean, I started dreaming that you're helping us with a women's football team.
I would love that.
The good part is...
Bring me back. Make India a football country. Let's start it.
The good part is, you know, Indian men's football, their world ranking would be somewhere around 120 or so, but the Indian women football's world ranking is in the 60s, so the women have a better chance to play the World Cup quicker than the men. And if you want us to bring you to help us make our women's football team play in the World Cup, is there anything that you want us to do as prelude or as a groundwork? And then we should get back to you saying that, Eddie, the field is ready for you. Do come over.
Oh, absolutely. If I have the chance to develop football, women football, I'm all in for it. And right. I might not help you as much that you become a world champion, because I want the Germans to be world champions. Sorry about that. But I would love to help India growing women football. That would be an amazing task.
Thank you. Bianca, there's possibly not a single global luxury brand that you haven't been associated with. From your Dolce & Gabbana, Prada, Fendi, Versace, name anything. Victoria's Secret. You have been all over the world, right? You've been in the fashion parade, in the fashion arena of Australia to South America to North America, the entire Europe, UK. I don't think that any place is left out other than India. So you came to India for the first time. You have tried your acting skill to some extent in movies like Go-Go Tales, etc. I don't think that it's a very absolutely unnatural idea to have you back to India and see that whether you fit into Bollywood or the Indian cinema. So will you be open for that?
I'm so bad at languages though. Would you take me speak Italian? Do you have any Italian roles?
We'll teach you the language.
Please, just me. I play all the Italians in all the Bollywood movies. No, but you know that my second largest audience is India.
Look at this.
Italy.
So you're half done.
Yes.
Half done here. Ronali, I mean, we obviously are waiting for the day that you make your debut in Bollywood or Indian film. We've got the biggest star of India now, Allu Arjun, will be joining us. He's there. So we'll just talk to him right now after this. We definitely would like to see you back here at an appropriate time on Bollywood films. I want to know from you what you think about Indian cinema. As you know, Indian cinema is no more Bollywood. The southern part of Indian cinema is exploding, far bigger than they possibly have become already, as big, if not bigger than Bollywood. Are you keeping track of what's happening in Indian film? Who are your favorite stars? Any favorite director that you have in your mind?
I mean, one of my favorite directors was just here. And
so I've got the director, I've got the biggest star, so I've got everyone.
Yes, I mean, I feel like I've been manifesting this for many, many years. I started traveling to India 10, 12 years ago. I first came here with the National Theatre for a play that did very, very well here, and it was amazing to see how a story in Hebrew touched the hearts of the audience here. It was one of the most incredible experiences of my life, and then I kept coming here to travel and to get to know India and the people, and I felt very connected to this country and to its people, and the generosity and the way that you go about the world and your culture and your stories. And everywhere I went in India was just a story about either religion or just the culture or the history. And I always felt very curious to know more and to be a part of it. And it's something that I can't explain it. It's not logical. It's just I learned how to be happy in India, and I can't wait if I can cross over and share stories of India. I feel like what you guys are doing here at Waves, the inspiration and where you guys want to go, and how storytelling is in your heart in such a deep way, because I feel as an actor that it's such a big part of my work to change the narratives and to connect people. And I feel like through arts and culture and sport we are able to do that just by putting ourselves out there and sharing human stories and human emotions, and it's true. I know that you guys did a Fauda remake of Fauda, which was incredible. You know, it was a big honor for us, and so yeah, I can't wait.
Thank you very much, ladies, for joining us. Before you leave the stage, I would like to thank you once again on behalf of TV9 Network and the entire country. The way we perceive your expressions for being here with us tonight is that this is how you express solidarity, behind India against the backdrop of what happened recently in Kashmir. I think we stand united against terrorism, a cowardice act of terrorism across the world. Wherever it happens, we need to be together, and we all will hope that the miscreants would be brought to justice. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been a great pleasure and honor to host you all. Thank you.
Please put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen. The three legendary women, Bianca